Okay. Um. Cool beans. So we are going to be playing some Dark Souls 2, which just came out on PC. At this point, I think it's technically yesterday. Yep, technically day before yesterday. Actually, it did just past midnight. But we're gonna play some. I've played the game on PS3, so I know what I'm getting into. Um, I know what's going on.
Perhaps you've seen it. Maybe in a dream. A murky, forgotten land. A place where souls may mend your ailing mind. You will lose everything. Once branded. The symbol of the curse. An augur of darkness. Your past, your future, your very light. None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human. A thing that feeds on souls, a hollow. Long ago, in a walled-off land far to the north, a great king built a great kingdom. I believe they called it Drangleic. Perhaps you're familiar. No, how could you be? But one day, you will stand before its decrepit gate without really knowing why. Like a moth drawn to a flame, your wings will burn in anguish. Time after time. For that is your fate. The fate of the cursed.
So, as I was saying, I've beaten the game once on the PS3 using a pretty basic strength build with heavy armor. I used the Dringlik shield for most of it, but I did swap to a great shield eventually when I realized that I wasn't actually carrying anything. And now we're here with that sweet 60 FPS, high resolution PC graphics. I am using, I think it's called Jito Sato or whatever he's calling it. It's Durante's mod tool. So there are a couple of extra advanced features, like as you can see, I've swapped out the controller inputs for PS3 ones because I'm used to playing on the PS3. I like the buttons, and I'm using a DualShock 4, so it's a bit more natural to have PlayStation controller icons. But for this build, we're going to be going Dex Faith. I don't have anything really specific in mind, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. For now, we'll just go on through.
What seems to be the ruckus?
Oh my, your face. The face of the curse. It's an undead. An undead has come to play. They all end up here. All the ones like you. You spoke to that kind old dear, didn't you? You're finished. You'll go hollow. Yes, you'll become one of them. Hollows prey upon men, feast upon their souls. This is the fate of the cursed. What is your name? At least you know your own name. Here's your reward for sharing. It's a human effigy. Take a closer look. Who do you think it's supposed to be? Think back, deep into your past. Yes, it's an effigy of you.
So we're gonna start as a cleric. I think it's a really solid starting class. I like the robe, I like the mace. Starting with heal isn't too important, but the stats are pretty good. The gifts don't really matter at all this time, so I like to go with healing wares. Play a female character and just real quickly go through. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted. And set all these up. Alright, that's it. I think. Yeah.
All people come here for the same reason. To break the curse. You're no different, I should think. Doesn't stand a chance. Well, you never know. Go through the door and trot along to the kitchen. don't remember. Hold on to your souls. They're all that keep you from going hollow. Oh, I'll fool you no longer. You lose your souls. All of them. Over and over again.
Alright, I'm not really a fan of the Fire Keepers here. I think they're a little bit too in your face about the, oh, you're gonna die over and over and over. Let's turn down the music. It's way too loud. So I don't really like that whole cutscene, and I don't think that sort of cutscene is really the series' strength, so, you know, it is what it is though, so we're gonna go back and grab a couple items I forgot to pick up. Nothing really important, but, it's just nice to get. So, I'm thinking probably gonna end up using a curved sword like the falchion, or eventually some katanas maybe. I'm not totally certain. With a bit of an offensive mix with some lightning spears and mitt force and that sort of thing. Pretty simple, should be fun. Maybe get some PvP in, I'd like to do some of that. And of course we're going to do some co-op as well, if we can get some. These Hippo guys really aren't that bad when you're facing them one-on-one. You can usually just make sure you roll out of the way, and the real trick is if you can just get behind them. They don't like you to do, but when you get behind them, you can pretty easily get them to do that. And then they just do that over and over again, and you beat them up. So I've really been working on practicing my dodges. They're definitely a lot tougher, especially in when you have low agility in this game compared to the first one. But I was never much of a... Well, that probably means I'm dead. Yep. Fuck. Oh well. First death. It happens. We'll kill this guy next time. We don't even really need to. What he drops isn't that great, but I do like to do it. So I mostly played the Dark Souls games by blocking. That's what I always ended up doing. It reminds me. Oh, I didn't want to use that. Hit the button by mistake. Let's just put on some shoes and gloves. But I always played by playing like tanky builds and blocking and that sort of thing. And I kind of want to avoid it. It's really kind of boring and doesn't take too much skill once you know what you're doing to get around by just blocking everything. Hey, come on, sit. Sit. So that's one of the reasons I've actually been enjoying using this mace. Because I have to wield it two-handed, so I can't block. It's kind of fun that way. And honestly, it makes me feel a lot more, skillful. Let's see. Hopefully we won't screw up and get one shot this time. And then we can kill him. There we go. Pretty easy peasy. Gold pine resin's nice. And the stone ring, also nice. Because that gives us poise. But unfortunately poise is pretty useless in this game. There's some sort of multiplier on successive hits. So it really doesn't matter how much poise you stack. 2 or 3 hits, it's going to break your poise. And that's just how it is. You can't really do what you could in the first game and slap on some really heavy armor and just whiz through everything. Right, the other thing I wanted to address, I am using the Durante's mod for it, whatever it's called, it has some weird name this time. And I've got a couple options going on, so you can see I've got texture replacement, I've got the ambient occlusion set up, because I think it's a lot nicer than the default ambient occlusion, which just sort of puts a black halo around everything and it looks really kind of ugly. I've got the anti-aliasing set up, because that's also much nicer than the in-game anti-aliasing, which is FXAA, which is the sort of standard nowadays for console games, but it really just sort of puts everything through a blur filter and really looks kind of ugly, especially if you're playing on a decently sized screen or a decent enough resolution. It just makes everything look blurry, and that's not really the point of anti-aliasing. It should make everything look sharper. And I'm also using the post-process changes, which if I toggle them here, I should be able to. Oh, it was off. Well, now it's on. I don't know why it was off. There we go. Huh. Now it's on, so as you can see, everything is darker and you get a bit more vibrancy in the world. And I think it's a pretty significant improvement. And some areas get fairly dark like they should be. I'm just running through the tutorial area. Really, I only need to do this one, I think. Yeah, we'll drop some stones and see what we get. We only have one. These are the crow trading whatever. Huh. The old web, interesting. Yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna bother with the other ones. There's did we get the dagger? Yes, we did. And there's a cracked red eye orb in one of them as well, if you want to get started invading right away. But we're not going to do that. I think to go with my sort of cleric-y thing, I'd rather join the blue sentinels and invade that way instead of invading by red eye orbs, which are sort of the evil invasion, right? Versus the blue eye orbs, which are the good ones. Let's see. Here it is. Drop down and drop. There's a chime. It's not really necessary to start as a cleric if you want to go faith build. Stats are set up fairly nicely, but there is a chime right at the beginning, and you can buy one fairly early on. I don't remember who was the first person to sell one, but you can get them fairly early on, and the first merchant also sells heal. See, I'm not really going to talk to people too much. There's plenty of other playthroughs and stuff that do that. I've talked to everybody already several times and heard them talk to several times. so I'm not really interested
Do you
in
want to be an
doing that myself.
Do you?
Yes, yes. We'll join the Way of Blue for now. It's a decent enough starting covenant.
That is a
Go.
why. Let
And we might as well equip that. Now we need... Oh! Fucking hell. So that's why you don't do that. Oh well, it's Dark Souls. Stupid deaths sort of come with the territory. Unfortunately, that is hollowing us out of it, but, you know, it's not a big deal yet. We'll deal with it. Yes. Estus. And then we'll just talk. Alright, great. I don't believe I'm going to really do that yet. We do need to pick up a couple items, and especially the Estus Flash Shard that's over here. Life gems, always useful. Delicious candy to munch. You can get through the game fairly easily, stocking up on life gems. There's some bosses that really won't let you get away with it, but for the most part, you should be alright. Especially, you can stack life gems by, if you have multiple ones going at once, they do stack. Let's get the Estus.
This.
And instead of going to the Forest of Fallen Giants first, like everybody does, we're actually going to head on over to Hades Tower of Flame first. I like to... The Dragon Rider is a really easy boss, and I like to get him out of the way early so we can get the Miracle Merchant for this build. And that's also where we join the Blue Sentinels. But I want to level up a little bit. I'll probably kill Last Giant at least, if not also the Pursuer first. I'm not really going to go the sort of standard recommended way through this run, because there's a couple things I want to get early. So my plan and path is really do Hades so we can get into the Blue Sentinels, get the Miracle Merchant. We're going to do Forest of Fallen Giants just because it's good to do early. We want to do it before Earthen Peak. Then we're going to do Huntsman's Copse, Earthen Peak, and maybe Iron Keep as well, in order to get those, get a couple things from up there. We want some of the items that we can get along that way fairly early. They're pretty useful to get. It's also a really good way to get a couple branches, so we can unlock Brightstone Cove, and all those other fun areas, and get straight as well. Oh, and I haven't equipped my Estus. There we go. Cool. Ah, crap, come on. sound just cut out for some reason. Let's see. Should be able to pop a heal. There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with my sound. My headset seems to be cutting out a little bit. I'm not totally sure what's going on there. This guy drops the Sublime Bone Dust. We can burn that back in Majula, upgrade our Estus by 1, which is always useful. Go. These guys are pretty easy to deal with, generally speaking. Some of the other ones are a bit tougher, but this one shouldn't be a problem. I like raising the platforms for Dragon Rider. I find it makes them a lot easier, obviously, and I don't like skipping through all the mobs here and everything. When fighting this guy, the 2 other ones on the side go off to guard their exits, so you don't have to deal with them. But they do both come at you, so what you can do is just run over to one exit, and the other one will go back to his post. So you can take these guys on one-on-one this way. So it's not too bad to do that. We'll deal with those guys later. I wonder if you could jump that, but I'm not going to try it. Another great sword guy down here. Really easy. Generally speaking, I've gotten screwed up by these guys before. So, you know. Generally, you just really want to be careful when they do that last swing. Just back away and take him out then. These guys tend to drop plenty of cracked blue eye orbs, so you can sort of farm them here. There is an NPC summon sort of right over where I'm, I guess, pointing over here if you need help. But Dragon Rider's really very basic. You shouldn't have a lot of trouble with him. Of course, now watch me screw it up. He can be difficult if you don't raise the platforms, because then you have pretty much no room to maneuver. But if you do raise up the platforms, which isn't too big a feat, it makes him considerably easier. Now if you're decent with your timings, you can actually pretty much knock him off right as you get started. If you don't raise any of the platforms and just deal with them that way. And there we go. Easy peasy, didn't even damage me. Dragon Rider's soul. I don't remember anything specific that makes that's any good, but I like to keep on to boss souls. Just because. And we've got Lycia.
But
She sells that. We're going to want to buy the Ring of Prayer eventually, probably. But for now, we want Lightning Spear. Yeah, let's pick up Resplendent Life as well.
may the power
Yeah.
offer your.
And then make
Just
sure
speak up if you're. That's what.
to chat with her.
Do. And I would.
There we go.
Sorry, no need for miracles.
You know what, let's not rest. Let's go back to, let's at least get the Ring of Binding and the human effigies that are on the other side. Ring of Binding's really useful. Human effigies are always nice. You can, I'm not going to be using them this time. But the Rings of Life Protection are incredibly powerful in this game. Unlike in the first Dark Souls, when an item like a ring breaks, or I mean, I guess, I don't know, maybe rings might have been different. Because I remember if you took off the Ring of Favor and Protection in Dark Souls 1, it was gone. But I may not be remembering that right. And, whoop. And I remember something similar with Rings of Life Protection in that game. But, in this game, you can repair them for cheap. Rings of Life Protection cost, like, 3,000 souls to repair. So once you get a couple of them, and you can get 3 of those and a Ring of Soul Protection in New Game. So you can pretty much get a couple of those and get a couple lives and then keep all your souls and stay human. And just pay basically a cheap tax. Ugh. Let me see if I can reset these guys. I hate when the shield guy pulls as well. It's really kind of frustrating. I'm honestly not really sure how to deal with 2 of these guys at once. And there we go. Easy. Now the rest is easy. Standard. Whack him and dodge. Of course, if you have a shield you want to use, you can always just use it. Deal with it very, very easily that way. Without having to dodge out of the way or anything. We're out of Estus, so I'm not going to fight the boss up here. I'd like to have more Estus than none for him. I actually had a lot of trouble with him earlier today, fighting him. With a similar, very similar character, I was just getting completely wrecked. But hopefully that won't happen this time, but we'll still put him off until a little later. life gem, and a ring of binding and some human effigies, which are all very, very useful and a nice little boost to get started. So if you can deal with these old knights, and they're not very difficult at all, this is a good place to put up early on your list to visit, I find anyways. Your first time playing, obviously, you're probably going to want to head to the Forest of Fallen Giants first and get into things, so to speak, but otherwise, I've been coming here increasingly often early. The main thing you really don't get here is Estus shards. There's a couple you can pick up in the Forest of Fallen Giants that are really nice to get early.
Oh, this and shut up.
While we're here with a couple souls, I'd like to pick up open up this path and just grab the Huntsman Copse.
Go ahead then. May the power of miracles be...
Huntsman's Copse bonfire is what I meant to say and got lost halfway through saying it. We can talk to this guy over here, but he doesn't have anything to say to us, so we'll just take this and head back to Majula. I'm gonna keep a hold on to these souls for right now. We've got a couple things to buy soon, so I'm gonna save them until we're done buying things. And I don't really need to level up anyways. It'd be nice to be able to get Lightning Spear, but that needs a lot more souls than we have. We need something like 10 faith, and I'd like to also pick up 3 attunement as well. So we're not grabbing that just yet. And I always go down that path first, because I only ever come this way once, so I always forget to go over here. Here, grab this, another nice human effigy, homeward bone, extremely useful, some souls, and we're into the Forest of Fallen Giants. There's not really much to say about this place. It's pretty standard. It's your usual opening level for a Souls game. With, you know, hollow dudes that swing knives at you and short swords or whatever. There's nothing really exceptional about it. I like it. I think it's nice. It's got a nice aesthetic, but there's nothing really particularly that stands out about it. Oh, come on. There we go. This guy. I like to pick up pretty much every item. I don't know, I'm wired that way, I guess. I have to, I'm not really comfortable just passing up items I don't need. Mostly because I can never remember what's in them. So, I can never remember if it's actually something good or not. Getting a little close, but we should be alright. That reminds me, I want to put... where did my mace go? And chime. There we go, so we do this. Now, this fellow won't aggro on you, so you don't need to worry about that. He will attack if you hit him, of course. Now, something I always see people not notice is this fellow. And people go to fight the Haid Knight right there, and that guy aggroes and they get screwed over by it. So don't forget to wake that guy up first, and don't forget to go up here. Grab this. Jump over here to grab the short sword. So if you want to use a straight sword, that's the first one you can get easily. That's any good. The warrior class starts with a completely garbage sword. The broken straight sword, I think. And it's just total junk. So you're gonna want to replace it with the short sword right away. That's why I prefer the knight, I think it is. That starts with a broadsword. I think that's a much better starting class if you're looking to run around with swords and things. You do jump farther if you have less weight on you, so I find it pretty useful to strip a bit off if you want to make that jump. Otherwise, you can often end up missing it completely and falling. And you probably won't die from there unless you have very low health, but generally it's better to not. This guy, I actually really like fighting this guy. I find him pretty fun to do. Except if we stagger him and backstab him and deal with him that way. Be careful when he gets back up though, because he will do that really quick strike. Honestly, I wish there were more of these guys in the game. They're really fast, and I like fighting fast enemies. They're often the most fun to fight. Just put the tree between us so we can Estus. Come on. Ah. Come on. Come on, stop it. There we go. Not my best effort against him, but better than nothing. That sword is pretty useful early on. It scales, it has some lightning scaling. So it scales decently with the Faith build. It has sort of an odd moveset compared to normal straight swords. But overall, I like it a decent amount. Early on anyways. There's better swords, and if you can pick up, you know, a broadsword or something, those tend to be better. Some bolts we don't really need. Stamina regen. The mace is just, honestly, it's actually a really good weapon all around. I've heard of dual mace builds being very powerful in PvP. But I don't know if I want to use it. I kind of want to go more dex than strength. So I'd like to try out katanas. I've never really used them, but they should be fun. But that's one of the reasons I want to go to Iron Keep early. I want the old Ember early because that's a really handy item to pick up. So we can put, you know, lightning scaling on everything. And I want to get the katanas early because you need the old Ember to buy the Uchi katana from what's his face. And you need the and there's also black steel katanas there as well. Now I'm gonna try this skip. I'm not gonna use it, but I'm gonna try it. I haven't been able to get it to work yet on PC, but we'll see. What you do, I've gotten this to work on PS3 before, but you stand on the third one and point down and chuck a firebomb. There we go. And that happens. Normally you're supposed to blow it up from the other side, but I like getting it out of the way early. Get rid of that. That's everything we need from Melentia. Oh, we need to talk to her. I'll do that in a second. But you can run up here and just whack this door. You can see it's all busted up. So you can do that. And there's this guy here. This repair powder, which is always useful. I really like what they did with weapon durability in Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 1, it was in a lot of games with a similar system. It's something that's always sort of there, but it only ever comes up like once, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, I'm broken. I've got to go back, and it pops up in the middle of nowhere, and it's annoying. But in Dark Souls 2, you can see there's red bars under my weapons. Those say how much weapon durability is left, and all your items are like that. And they recharge whenever you sit at a bonfire. So if you spend too long without sitting at a bonfire, your weapons will break. So it actually comes up often enough, they degrade fast enough, that it's something to think about and keep in mind. Oh, fuck. Something that you keep in mind the whole time, and it means stuff with low durability actually has an impact, so you'll only really get a couple uses out of it before you have to, you know, go back to a bonfire or whatever. And it works out really nice. It's one of my favorite systems changes, actually. Let's see if we can actually drop an attack. And hopefully not roll off the side this time. There we go. This area is completely optional, but there are a couple of nice items to pick up. Human effigy, as always, very nice. There's a couple other nicer things. Torches, Soul of a Lost Undead. I didn't really need that backstab, but, you know, I'll take it. More life gems. Random junk we don't need. You can't get that item up there until very, very late in the game. It's nothing special, it's just a couple of Twinkling Titanite. But I'm not even sure why there's petrified statues here. There's nothing even remotely close to this area that petrifies. So, I don't know. Petrification, I think it works the same as Curse did in terms of going to other people's worlds, but these ones are all static. Be careful in here, the fire won't hurt you, but there is a nasty ambush if you're not expecting it. Just go here, and these two guys drop down and they'll trap you in there and you can end up trapped with a salamander breathing giant fireballs at you, and that's no fun. You can usually pick up this item safely, drop back, wait, go here, and you're invincible when you're opening the door, so you usually have just enough time to make it in here. And pick up the Fire Longsword, which is a handy starter weapon. Yeah, you can kill him, but it's really just not worth it at this point. You generally want to just roll out of the way. Those fireballs will screw you up something fierce if you're not ready for it. And then we just make our way back up and back to the bonfire. And that's that little area done. Now we could just skip this next part, but I like doing it anyways. There's some decent items there. And we actually do need to go down this direction anyways. Or sort of this direction. We can get there the other way too. To be honest, it's really a very short skip. Wow, okay. I don't know if I've ever died to those guys before, but apparently it does happen. Excuse me. Hopefully that won't happen again. There we go. So we do need to clear out this area. It is optional, but there's at least one item that's really worth. There's at least, you know, some stuff that you really need, or should at least, come here to grab. Go over here, that guy will pull out his dagger. And these guys are kind of dicks, to be honest. There's two archers and this guy with a shield. It's just a real pain in the butt sometimes if you don't have good ranged options. There we go. So that's how you deal with it. Generally, you want to bait that guy first, so he doesn't hit you in midair and stagger you and send you tumbling to your death. The first time I was in here, I ran through blindly and got murdered by that rock. There's also an enemy there, but I've never seen him actually do anything. He always gets killed by the boulder. The boulder does only roll once, so if you come back again, he will be there. This is Kale, but you just want to mash X to get through him. And he'll give you...
What a joy.
The key to the big mansion house place in Majula, and there's a couple good items in there, so that's why we wanted to come over here, really. Plus, you know, human effigies. The amber herbs are really nice. They restore spellcasts. You can buy at least some of them. I don't know if there's an unlimited source of amber herbs. There might be, but I can't say for certain. And I am going to loop around and get the gear that's down at the bottom over here. I believe it's just some Titanite shards, but they're still handy to get. Let's see. We will have plenty of Titanite shards by later in the game. You can buy them infinitely, not too far in, really. I always do this. I don't want to come up here. I want to go around this way. And... there we go. We are going to try fighting the Pursuer here. I don't generally do it. I've never killed him up here. But we'll try. It's going to be a bit difficult because I don't have Lightning Spear yet. I'll probably talk more about this guy when we actually fight him for real. I'm not expecting to win this. I'm honestly not that great against the Pursuer. But he's, I mean, honestly, he's pretty much just a dodge or block out of the way of all his moves, and you'll be alright. Yeah. You only get one shot on him here. If you die to him, he won't come back. But you will fight him later on. He is a mandatory boss later. But now that we've made our way over here, we can go grab our stuff. Will you climb up here? Guess not. I really don't like the spear or shield wielding guys. I find them really annoying to deal with. I mean, they're not that bad, but they can be tough sometimes, especially early on. The trick I really found to be useful against them is just learn to use your guard break. Oh, ow, that hurt. Wow. I'm playing really poorly tonight. Really poorly. I shouldn't have died to him. But I didn't want to Estus because I was being lazy. So you can usually just pull this guy back really easily. And come on. I knew he was going to do that, but I didn't. Yeah, well. We're going to get all of the loot in here. Go in here, see the giant ballista, nope, out of there. Now, the real trick I found for dealing with these guys is just to go pretty much full on offense and just kill them as they come. If you're fighting 3 of them at once, or 4 of them at once, you're gonna have a tough time. But if you can kill them before they're all fighting you at once, you can usually get away with it just fine. Couple nice loot. If you're playing a sorcerer build, that great soul arrow is nice to pick up early on. Let's see. I'm gonna risk this. Please. Nope, no. Ooh, that was close. Those crossbows do a lot of damage. Usually you're best off with whenever you're opening a trapped chest or a chest you know that's trapped, or if you don't know, just hold a shield. If you see white smoke, put up your shield. If you see black smoke or green smoke, get the hell out of there. That Pharaoh's Lockstone we bought earlier goes in here, or it goes into any number of those things, but this is a really good place to use it. You get the Chloranthy ring, which is we're going to put on because we have a spare ring slot and it doesn't weigh very much, but the normal Chloranthy ring is junk in this game. It'll get you like 2 frames worth of extra stam regen, but you do get a slab for it. And slabs are pretty easy to come by, but it doesn't mean they're not valuable. Bang on that door. If you're trying to open it, it won't open. You have to bang on it. And if he ever gets around to it... Come on. Come on. Yeah, come on. What are they doing back there? I've never had it take this long for them to open this door before. There we go. Mr. Halberd guy here will be real nice and open the door for us. And then another guy will come through. Oh, come on. And then we just murder him. And you know what, I'm gonna heal. go. And in here there is... I don't remember. Life Ring and Large Titanite Shard. Large Titanite's actually fairly useful. You don't get unlimited access to those until a little bit later. Life Ring, just like the Tiny Beings Ring, I think it was, in Dark Souls 1, is also junk. I think it is something like 3% max life, which isn't a lot. Here we've got Mild-Mannered Pate. Talk to him.
They're rather brusque.
Alright, then we're inside. Like he told you, the door's gonna close behind you. That shouldn't be a problem. Just sort of kite these guys around. And does that, and then we come in and kill him. Grab this, roll out in case the sniper saw us. These guys kind of leash at the bottom of the stairs, so you can't pull them too far. They don't like getting out of sniper support range, so... Come on. But if you go to the bottom of the stairs, this guy will leash back up here, so you can usually use that to kill the sniper. Oh, come on, that totally hit him. Yeah, if you just hit up and attack at the same time, you'll break their guard, which is probably the best way to deal with those guys. If they're being annoying about it. And then we talk to Pate, and he gives us the White Sign Soapstone, which is really nice to pick up. I like to keep it on my hotbar because I like doing co-op. And we're going to want to summon him for the next boss, because we want to do his little quest line properly anyways. And we're getting plenty of souls, so we should be good to level up a couple things when we get back to Majula, which we'll do before Last Giant. So yeah, if you bait the bombs into the middle there, all that crap will explode and do a bunch of damage to this guy, which makes him even easier to deal with. These ironclads have a very, very simple attack pattern. Pretty much get up close. He's gonna do that. Come on, I want him to come back more. So yeah, you get up close. He does that. Slams down. You whack him. And the maces do a ton of damage against those guys. So they're really handy to have. Life gem. You can also go up here and kill these guys first, so you don't have to deal with them, and then kill the old ironclad. There's a light crossbow, which is a really nifty ranged weapon at the beginning of the game. I'm not going to be using it. Let's see, let's make this jump, and hopefully not screwed up. Ah, fuck. Oh, hey, that guy followed me. They both followed me. Huh. I didn't know they'd do that. Well, that makes things simpler. That they'll both follow me off a cliff. Let's see. God, I can never nail that. Ooh. Well, we've got him dead, so we're fine. There's nothing really important up there, but the Mailbreaker, which is rubbish, as always. I don't know if the Mailbreaker has ever been a good weapon in the Souls series. It might have been decent in Demon Souls, I don't know. But I know in Dark Souls it's just been junk. I'm gonna try one more time to get this jump right. When I went through here yesterday, I managed to get it my first time, but there we go. And it's just a soul for I think that's the 800 one. But we're almost to Last Giant, so that'll be fun. A life gem. These guys can bait one of them easily enough. Yeah, life gems are so cheap, you can pretty much just use them whenever you like. They're perfect for out-of-combat healing. Now I'm going to do something pretty stupid, and see, there's this guy right there, and yeah, you pretty much have to take this guy out too. So we're going to do that real quick. Generally, the best way to handle this is to pull the first guy. Whoa! I think I almost slipped off. Generally, you want to pull the guy that's up here with a bow or something similar, and the guy that drops from up top will follow him, chasing you down. But yeah. No, stop it. Come back here. No, no. No! God damn it. Maybe we'll come back and get it later. I think that only drops a couple Titanite shards, so it's nothing too important anyways. I don't really plan on reinforcing too much this early. I want to settle on what I'll be using first. Couple fire arrows. And we're back at the bonfire. So we're gonna head back to Majula and get some Estus. So we'll get up to 4 Estus. And then we will do a little co-op in Last Giant, I think, after leveling. And then we will, actually kill the Last Giant. I want to do some co-op, get humanity back. and then kill the last giant. And then I think we'll do Pursuer. Just because he's, you know, right here. It's really just a couple miscellaneous items up here, some Titanite, yeah, rock candy. I always come out here thinking there's something out here, but there never is there? Torches are always nice. I'd like to try like an Olympic torch run sometimes. I know it's not... You can't really do a full Olympic torch run where you have the torch out the whole time, because there's one area where the rain will put your torch out, but every other area you should be able to keep a torch up the whole time. Really the trickiest part is just getting the first couple torches so you have enough of a buffer to do everything right. Because I mean, really, what it is at its heart, it's a one-handed run with a time limit. You've got probably 3 or 4 hours total to beat the game if you're doing it that way, and but it's going to be a lot tighter at the beginning of the game when you don't have a lot of torches. So, in my opinion, the beginning is probably the hardest part. Alright. Bear, seek, lest. Get used to hearing that over and over and over again. Ugh, we need 6 more faith. I don't know if we have the souls. Hopefully we do. Yeah, we should be fine, actually. Hopefully, anyways. I don't like munching boss souls. Ah, so close. 400 souls. So tune it anyways, and then what's the best way to get 400 souls? I mean, we can probably just kill a couple guys really easily. Let's do this. And we'll just jump back to, the Forest of Fallen Giants real quick and kill a couple guys. Until we can use Lightning Spear. Which is really, in my experience with this sort of build, Lightning Spear is really a, boss killer. It's pretty fantastic at killing bosses. Yeah, sure, let's go this way. Uh, 90 souls. So we need to kill like 3 or 4 more guys. And we should be good. Back. There we go. Yeah, just come Titanite. And, let's kill these two. There we go. Now we're good. Yeah, I just want Lightning Spear before we do Last Giant. Because that gives us a lot of range damage, which is really handy, and it's nice when, you know, sunbrowing and that sort of thing. Which we're probably going to join. I want to join the Heirs to the Sun really early. Do some co-op. So we can get Great Lightning Spear.
Bear.
Because that'll be really nice to have. Right. Now we can actually use it, which is also nice. That's why I didn't want to do Old Dragon Slayer yet, because I wanted to get Lightning Spear. Alright. And we're looking pretty ugly right now. But we should be able to get back to Yemen with a little bit of co-op. Hopefully, I don't know if anybody's going to be playing this time of night. But we are going to put down our soapstone and see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't take very long, because I don't want to sit here and chat about nothing for half an hour. We've got a little bit of jolly co-op with Alice. The PC version uses character names instead of like your Steam ID or anything like that. So I've got no idea who this person actually is. I do believe they show up on your recently played with list, but I don't know for certain. But pretty much all we have to do in this fight, doing it with Pate or doing it with a host, is stand back and spam lightning spears. And dodge, you know, sweeping attacks and that sort of thing. Pate's a really good tank on this fight, especially since in a recent patch they buffed him considerably. He used to be really unreliable, but now he can reliably tank this fight. That was a little close, but we're fine. And that'll get us back to human. And get us a token of fidelity as well. And I didn't really get my bow off, but that should get us back to human. Which it did, and we've got all our stuff back, and we're going to deal with him now. So we just want Pate. Because we do want his... Normally I don't summon, but there are a couple summons for their quests, and I want to get those done. So we are going to bring Pate along. Yeah, the strat here is basically the same as what we just did with one less person. We're just going to kill the shit out of the last giant. Lightning spears do a ton of damage to him. Pate can take, and with only 2 people instead of 3, will do a considerably more damage to him relative to his total health than we had the last time. I like the last giant. I think he's a pretty cool first boss. He does a lot of damage. They might have nerfed him a little, but still, he does a pretty good amount of damage for a first boss. So you can go in here and expect to get wrecked if you don't know what you're doing. Design-wise, in terms of visuals, I think he's pretty great. He's your first giant you see, so seeing the head, the face, which is really just a gaping hole. Is kind of frightening. And there's the whole, he's like decrepit, and there's, you know, shackles, and he tears his arm off, he uses a club. I really like all that. Oh. Ow, 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 ow. Come on. There we go. We almost died there. I haven't died on Last Giant since like the first time I fought him. We get his soul, we get the shoulder key, Pate goes off to do whatever he does. And that's the last giant. He's really quite simple. But, you know, I like him. I think he's a fairly fun boss. A nice sort of intro boss. But we can go straight from him to using that key we just got. There's 4 doors it opens. It opens the door we busted through up above the bonfire. But I mean, I don't know anyone who's ever used it for that. It opens that door right there, which we do. That's the reason why he's a required boss. We do need to come back here later. He drops the Ring of Restoration, which we'll slap on. It's some nice passive healing. and we need to come up here later to finish the game. That path, if you remember the Twinkling Titanite back at earlier in this level that I pointed out that you can get, that path leads to it. But we can't get through it yet. It leads down here to an optional area that I like to do anyways. Mostly because I just like doing most of the areas in the game. Four swings and kill him. This is a pretty simple area. There's just a couple of these old ironclad soldiers that you have to deal with. But they're really not particularly difficult. That attack, he starts the left to right swing and then does 4. So once you get that down, it's pretty easy to deal with. You don't want to get behind these guys though. I believe they're immune to backstabs, and they'll just fall on you if you... if you do get behind them. Yeah, you can just 3-shot him with the mace, which is nice. It makes kind of a non-threat with this. Over here is a bastard sword, right? Yeah. So if you're looking for a great sword, that's a good first one to pick up. You can actually see the that area over there gets like unrendered when we're inside this building. Another guy. There he is. Come on. And this is the area we could see from earlier. There's loot on this side, there's loot on the other side. This guy falls off pretty frequently, so you don't always have to deal with him, but he's not hard. we get the leather set and the hunter's hat. And there's the bonfire. That kind of bleeds through. You really shouldn't be able to see the light here, but I guess it's sort of bleeding through the cracks. And there's a tree here. This tree, if you're invaded, I think occasionally it spawns a seed. A seed of a tree of giants, which is one of the gifts you can get as well. And those basically let you turn the enemies in the world hostile to invaders. So we've got 12,000 souls, but I don't really want to use them yet. So we're just going to do Pursuer and call it an end. Because at that point, we've done everything we can here until the end of the game. So. Pursuer is a great place for co-op. He's a fairly hard boss for a lot of people. Whoa, where did you come from? You must have woken him up somehow. Well. But yeah, Pursuer is a fairly hard boss for a lot of people, so you tend to see a lot of co-op action going on there. So if you want to do some co-op, get your humanity back, whatever, he's a good place to do some low-level co-op. Yeah, you can see all the summon signs. But we don't need to do that. Hopefully, anyways. I might die here. He can be a tough boss, and especially with really low attunement. That means your cast speed is low, and that can make him a bit rough. He's really all about finding the gaps and hitting him then. Otherwise, just dodge. You really don't need to shield for this fight. Yeah, you can see how much damage that does. Yeah, when he does that charge, generally with ranged, you want to try and bait the charge. Ooh, that was close. You really don't want to get hit by that. If you get hit by it, you get cursed, which hollows you basically. And he also gets a bunch of new attacks that can mess your day up. There we go. Easy peasy. He's really easy ranged. But we've got a bunch of souls to spend. First, we're going to head down here to get the Drangleic set, except for the helm. Doesn't come with the helm, which is really handy. But the sword is a really good, great sword. It's a bit more dex-based than strength, but I used it for a long time on my strength build. The set is pretty good heavy armor. The shield is fantastic. It requires 16 strength, so we're not going to be using it, and I really don't want to use shields too much anyways. But it's really the first 100% physical block shield you can get this early in the game. Besides maybe the tower shield, which is a great shield. So the Dragon Lake shield is just a fantastic shield to use at this point. We're gonna do this just to move forward. And get the bonfire here, and then we're gonna talk to Melentia because we need to get her to move, and then we'll be done, and I'll be calling it a night because it's almost 2 a.m. here. And yeah. So this is the Lost Bastille. We'll be going here a lot later. There's really nothing here for us. Well, I mean, we could go through and complete it, but I don't want to do that yet, just because there's other things I want to do first. I didn't want to go to Majula. Crap. Because we need Melentia to move back to Majula. There we go. Right, and so we need to go to here and just spam talk. There we go. And there she is. So we want to spend about, let's just buy all these, because we want the Covetous Silver Serpent Ring +1, which pretty much has a permanent slot on my bars. Let's get rid of the Stone Ring. The Covetous Silver Serpent Ring is pretty amazing. I don't think there's anything we really want to do except level up. So I'm going to get Dex to 13, which is what we need for the Falchion. Can't really get that up. And we'll do a couple points in Faith, and that should be good. So I'm going to call it for tonight. I'm going to go to bed probably. Otherwise, I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully I should be streaming again soon. Videos up on YouTube, all that sort of jazz. So, yeah. Bye. That sort of thing. See you guys later.